As I mentioned, we're moving to club football now because it's back. And in the studio with me, Mutala Yakubu Akusieje and then Billy Shen. We'll start off with the MTN FA Cup, where we have 3 of our semi-finalists confirmed in the competition. Asante Kotoko are just about to face True Democracy. I like the name of the team, True Democracy. But let's just go through results of the quarterfinals so far in the MTN FA Cup. Berekum Chelsea just about edged Bichim United in the quarterfinal game. All Ghana Premier League side, and in the end, it was Stephen Amankona. Mutales guy, Vamos was the one who
Steven Amankona.
Yes, he led Berekum Chelsea to the semi-final stage of the competition, and then there was Kerala United surprisingly being knocked out by Division 1 side Golden Kicks, and then there was Atram Devisa and Park Academy. Atram Devisa just about also edging that one. So a very tight game. Also went to penalties. Kotoko about to face True Democracy. We'll come to that one pretty shortly. But Mutala, what have you made of the FA Cup results so far? Any surprises for you?
Yeah, a lot of surprises. I mean, it goes with the mantra that Ubia Nyobia. That is the FA Cup for you. And that is the only time the lower tier sides will have an opportunity of flexing their muscles against the big boys, and that is what we are seeing. There isn't the usual Hartlepool, the usual Mediema. Last season we had 2 Premier League clubs going into the final. In Swaterman were in the final. The year before it was Dreams FC that won it. But this time we are sure, or we know, that in the semi-final we are going to have at least one. In the final, so we are going to have one Division 1 side in there, because Golden Cake and Atram Devisa are playing in the Division 1. Both have made it to the semi-final. So definitely we are going to have one Division 1 side and one Premier League side, because even if Asante Kotoko True Democracy wins, they will be facing Berekum Chelsea, and Golden Cake would also be coming up against Atram Devisa. For Asante Kotoko fans, they've already started dreaming about winning the double. And most of them, if you speak to them, they don't remember the last time the club won both the FA Cup and the league. And it would be a huge honor for them, especially with what they've gone through in recent times. And prior to the restart of competitive football, I remember Prosper Natiogum talking about the fact that winning a major trophy would be an honor to the departed Nana Poli, and they want to do it in style. Now they look forward and they don't see any Accra Hartlepool. They don't see any Dreams FC. They don't see any Mediema. In their way is True Democracy. It's a tricky tie, because we've seen Kotoko play against teams that you expect them to wash away, where they've struggled a bit. And that is the nature of the MTN FA Cup for you. But with all these factors coming in play, it would be a big motivation for them going into that game against True Democracy, knowing that we have less than 10 games to also end the Ghana Premier League. And like, their destiny is clearly in their hands. A semi-final against Berekum Chelsea anywhere is not an easy game at all. Kotoko Berekum Chelsea games are very dicey, especially with the man handling Berekum Chelsea now, Samuel Bodu, formerly of Hartlepool. He's determined to also win the MTN FA Cup. I am only happy that a team like Golden Cake are in the semi-final. I watched them against Hartlepool in the 1/8 stage, and I can tell you they play some brilliant football. I wasn't surprised they were able to eliminate Haas, and they've gone on to eliminate Kerala. I am disappointed in Nuruddin Amadou and Kerala, because for a team that is struggling in the league, this could have been an opportunity or an escape route to play in Africa or win a major laurel. But Golden Cake have been fantastic. They've won yet another penalty. What they know how to do best is possession. I can tell you that with all the Division 1 teams, all the zones, Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, there's no team that is possession obsessed than Golden Cake. They hold the ball very well. Their only bane is putting the ball at the back of the net. But if they're able to hold you for 90 minutes and get to the penalty, then that is where they know it's a lottery and their luck could shine. And they've done it against Hartlepool. They've done it against another Premier League side. Big for them. Atram yesterday, you could see the joy in his face, qualifying for the semi-finals of the MTN FA Cup. And he wants to emulate what Abedi Pele did with Nania FC in 2011. You remember that when the MTN FA Cup had gone on he had to say come back in 2011. Nania won it, where they beat Kotoko in the finals. He wants to emulate that. He wants to be an ex-player who leads his side to win the MTN FA Cup. So he has all the motivation. The boys are playing some good football. They also won on penalty. So this is set up very, very well. And I like the fact that when we did the draw just a week ago at the MTN house, the Division 1 sides will be facing each other because their strength is almost at par. Then the Premier League sides will also be facing each other. So definitely we are going to have a Division 1 side in the final. Kumasi Asante Kotoko against True Democracy today. I don't see anything that True Democracy can do to stop an informed, motivated Kotoko side who know that once they win this game, they have one more hurdle against Brecum Chelsea, and if they are able to qualify for the final, then their dream of winning the double will come to a reality.
Well, hey, why do you have your hand up? Is there a classroom?
Yeah, no, I have an update, a boxing related update.
Yeah.
So, a statement has come from Trust Sports Emporium. They usually supervise the amateur boxing league, and it was expected to start on the 4th of April, but they've released a statement about the death and have stated that they are postponing the amateur boxing league until they make sure that every single dot is cleared and they make sure that the environment is safe for boxing once again. And so a new date hasn't been given yet, but for now there has been a postponement of the amateur boxing league.
Okay, thank you very much for that update, Billy Shen. But let me start with you on the FA Cup. There's the possibility that we can continue the trend that we've seen in the past previous seasons where Dreams FC won it and Sachaman won it, and now we have Golden Kicks, Atram Devise in the semi-final. Potentially one of them could go to the final. Potentially one of them could win it. Is there a bother that Ghana, do you feel that Ghana are not really putting their strongest foot forward? Especially, I'm talking about Africa, financially, quality-wise. That maybe Ghana is just not putting its best foot. Because you saw, Dreams FC, remarkable. But then the level dropped in Swatraman. And that's the issue with sometimes the lower tier clubs winning this competition, because they don't have the financial muscle, they don't have the quality to be able to go deep in the competition. Is there a concern for you?
I'll be more concerned with the bigger teams in the Ghana Premier League, because it sort of looks like they don't really field their best available players for games. And because of that, it becomes more of a level playing field for the local teams who, of course, will want more, would see this as an opportunity to also get into African football, a very good route where they can possibly earn. In fact, now they can actually earn some more cash because there's money to be earned even from the qualification stages. And so I think the task should literally be on the bigger side to put their best available teams forward. I mean, we've seen attempts from Hearts of Oak under Samuel Buedu where he won the MTN FA Cup back-to-back. I think he put up strong squads at every possible turn and then beat all the opponents that he faced. But after him, it's looked like the lower tier sides who basically are fighting relegation in the Ghana Premier League or are just battling in the Division 1 League see it as a route where they can really battle, because in their minds these bigger teams won't set up their best available players for these games, and they take advantage of it. Acham Divise have been basically the team that wins on penalties from the start of the prelims to the quarter-final stages. They've won all their matches on penalties, 4 games on penalties, and in fact one of those games involved Ghana Premier League side. For them to actually go all the way to that point goes to show that, I mean, we still have a lot of work to do, especially with the big teams. Their mentality has to change, because now CAF has made available actual funding for if you even get into the qualification stages. So they should take it seriously and they should put their best squad available to try and win it. And then we can see, an increase in quality in the future tournaments.
Akusia, do you think it's just a case of the big sides not maybe trying? And so for instance, Kotoko have a game today and then they play again in 2 days, and then in 2 days after that they play. So it's like 3 games in 6 days. And so, do you have a feeling that the bigger clubs are not prioritizing the FA Cup, hence why these smaller clubs are winning, or it's just a case of they're not good enough?
They're just not good enough. Let's face it. If we talk about any type of different squad that Kotoko will be using to play this game, maybe they'll make 2 changes. That's it. I see that Emmanuel Entry is starting. Their goalkeeper, Kamara, is he not the same person they are using for them?
Yeah.
Are they trying any of the others to say that, okay, you are the FA Cup goalkeeper that we're using? It's the same players they use. I don't even think that they have they look at their squad and they're like, okay, we can use this second team to play in the FA Cup, and then maybe if things are getting difficult or hard for us and we need to win the games, and maybe we can bring in our top men. They don't have that. That is how come, even for Kotoko, aside everything, they still had to wait and bring back Kwame Poku. Because if they had a team where they can rely on, if they had that, they would still not be waiting to get back a player who even left them. So the teams are not just good enough to compete. And the younger teams, or the Division 1s, the Division 2s, they are taking these things seriously, because this gives them the clout they want. And that is all they want. They want the clout, they want the highlights. Are they going to get the highlights? Absolutely. Are they getting the clout? Of course. That is how come you see someone like Atram. I don't think Atram wants his team to ever be in the Premier League. Yeah. Does he? He's not running his football club to be like, okay, let's come in and compete against Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Accra Hearts-of-Oak. Golden Cake, I don't think they, maybe in the foreseeable future, probably 5 years, 10 years, but like in the next 2 years, like they're looking at any of their players now coming to play. They are just looking at the fact that, okay, our players can get the clout they need now, we can get the highlights, we can use the FA Cup, which is also a means of qualifying to Africa, to boost their prize money. So we need to go in. At the end of the day, they know that, okay, even in our Division 1, we're not fighting to win, because when we go to their zones, Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, who are the leaders?
I don't think any of them would stand a chance of...
Who are the leaders?
Yes.
None of them.
Even outside the top 10,
they are not even...
They are even struggling.
They are not even there. But this is a bigger opportunity for the clubs who know that, okay, this will help us boost the prices of our players. And the players themselves understand this. You can get the highlights you want, so that when we compile everything. So they know exactly what they want and they are going in for it. Unfortunately for the Premier League clubs, as Bill said, now, if by qualifying to Africa alone, there's money. As are playing the group stage, you get money. This is not the time where we say the group stage was the money zone. So when you are playing, you hope that you qualify from the 2 prelims you would play before you are getting money. Once your name is in there during the draw, there's money available. But is this something that they want as of now? Maybe yes, they want it, but the kind of materials they have now cannot afford them to get it. Because for Karela, if they don't use the squad they used to play the Premier League, which players are they using? If a club like Kumasi Asante Kotoko, let's look at the lineup. I was just looking at the players they were starting with. Kamara is in post, and they have posted that Emmanuel Entry will be like, we know that Emmanuel Entry hasn't had a very good time in the Premier League, so probably
ever since he returned
from the Black Stars. So probably he's maybe the one player you would say, oh, okay, he's not getting, because if anything, why are they not using their junior team? More players from that side, because they say they are doing very well. So one, the Premier League teams at this point are not good enough. Two, I don't think that winning the FA Cup or going far is something that is of importance to them. Unless maybe
to the Premier League players.
Very few of them who want to actually qualify.
Most of them would love to win the FA Cup without it being attached to Africa. I'm telling you the truth. Because they are looking at the amount of money they are going to spend to even employ their team to, let's say, Mali, to play a game, as against what they would earn. So they would wish the MTN FA Cup doesn't even come with the prize,
the burden of going to Africa.
Most of them.
Then you look at the lower division sides who are doing so well, and you go to their zones. They are not the one topping the charts. So you know that these are not people who are busting them. They are behind off on the pitch because they know that when it comes to the league we are doing well, when it comes to the FA Cup we are doing well. No, they know what they want. Let's play well, let's get the clouds that we need as and when it comes. Because the FA Cup, how many matches do you have to play to even get to the finals? How many matches do you have to play to eventually win it? So the Division 1s, the Division 2s, they have their own aim. The Premier League teams, some don't, they want to win it, not go to Africa and have that burden of it. Some don't just want to. So they will just, and they don't even have the team to say, okay, we have a different squad that will be fielding for FA Cup and we will field a different squad for the main Premier League. So Wednesday, you would see the players who will be playing for Kotoko in the Premier League. Almost the same players.
Kwame Mpoku will still be starting. Kamara will still be in
And
boots.
to me, I think, to be honest, if you're a club like Hearts of Oak, if I look at life is all about opportunity cost. If I look at the league table and how the league is going, look, the FA Cup, I think they joined from round of 16.
Yeah.
Round of 32.
You joined
Round of
from the
32.
round of
32.
Round of 32.
Yeah, round of
so
32.
round of 32, round of 16, quarterfinals, semi-finals, final, 5 games, and you're in Africa. You are looking at a league that you have to play more than 30 games, and you have to win it. Second is not even enough. When was the last time Hearts went to Africa? That's where they belong. So if you're doing a season analysis, I'm thinking that if anything, Hearts of Oak has to wake up in this period, win 5 games. That's all. Win 5 games, and then in the league just survive. You can finish 10th, 11th. No one really cares.
What scares most of these teams is the financial burden.
If Hearts of Oak,
it scares
if
them.
financially Hearts of Oak cannot go to Africa, then there's no point in.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, you know the mentality they have. I won't mince words. Most of these team owners and administrators feel that they don't even have a good squad to compete on the African level. You sit with them and they talk about the Al Ahlis and they talk about the Zamaleks who can pay $5 million, £5 million to sign a player from Stoke City, to sign a player from Nottingham Forest. So they feel they can't even compete with them. So they have this at the back of their mind that, okay, even if we're going to spend money to go into Africa, it would be a waste of time. We will end up being kicked out and we would have spent maybe $100,000, which we could have used to actually prepare our squad, our club well for the foreseeable future to compete in other competitions. A club like Mediema, when they went to Africa, their president, Moses Parker, I have a very good relationship with him, so I had a one-on-one with him. He was not just looking at the fact that it was going to be a cost to them. He was looking at the fact that, okay, if I go into Africa, I would have a big opportunity of putting Mediema on the map. People will get to know the club Mediema. I could sell some players as well. Right after Africa, their top scorer, Jonathan, Soa, had a move to Libya. He was able to transport about 9 players to a Malta club.
Yeah, I remember.
He sent Nudin Abdullah and a few players to some Togolese clubs who were also in Africa. And he got some cash from there. And he told me clearly that once he was able to enter the group stage, he earned some money. Even though when you juxtapose that against what you've spent, you can see that it's a bit closer. The benefits of selling players and the benefits of putting this club Mediema out there for a South African company to even come and say, I want to sponsor Mediema, a gold firm, say I want to sponsor Mediema, that is huge. But most of these Hearts and Kotoko, they are just thinking about, hey, mebo cow, now we cry, yeah, you bet my thing.
You see, that's the mentality that's killing these clubs, because today,
so that's why they won't fight for
your fellow African clubs are going to the US and will get $10 million for participation in Club World Cup.
Yeah.
10 million.
Yeah.
And you see, look at the clubs carefully. The ones who are going to the Club World Cup, all of them made a decision to invest in sports years ago.
Yeah.
Years ago. And today, look at what they are reaping. The 10 million is just you coming
You should add to the fact that the North African clubs are the ones representing us in the Club World Cup for years now. Because of heavy investment in their teams.
I think when you even go to the Club World Cup, you go a bit far. CAF organized their Super League of a sort for clubs in Africa. They called 8 clubs, and there was no club from Ghana
because you have to pay certain amount of money. You won't pay.
The monies they were given, very good amount that they were given from the beginning of the tournament. Every stage you get to, there was an amount that you had to. But then when you check the teams that were there are teams who are currently making more investments. Teams that participate in the CAF interclub competitions, and then they do well. So for Ghana, I think, just as Mutala said, we are at a point where most of the clubs just look at, are we going to do well? If you're not going to do well, why should we stress? Because we know that even traveling on the African continent is very expensive.
It's very expensive. So
if you are not, say, a Remo Stars coming from Nigeria, where you know that your owner have his own airline company that will be able to transport the players or anything, and then you are an Accra Hearts of Oak that if you are playing against Algeria or Morocco, you have to go and land somewhere in Dubai or Turkey.
Then you make transit back to Africa.
You know that you are
spending a lot. That is one of the weirdest transit I've ever had. We don't even have to go far. Just recently, what participating in the Confederation Cup did for Dreams FC, it helped them to sell Abdulaziz Issa to Barcelona. He was the best player, the young best player of the tournament. I think he was the highest goal scorer as well. He allowed Agbesi also left, but only for him to get injured. That is why he couldn't secure a deal. Entry
Jalu,
not even Jalu, their captain. Jalilu also left. Entry. Is it Martin? I always forget his first name. John Entry. John Entry has been a journeyman in football. He's made a name for himself in Egypt, but he ended the move to a Libyan side right after the Confederation Cup. It helps you to sell a lot of players, and
everything is about buying and selling.
Of course, and that is why you need to put all your effort into ensuring that your team can go and participate. The benefit you get outweighs the cost. But most of the club owners we have here, I can tell you for a fact, he thinks he's invested in a team. So even if he sells a Shen for $5,000 or $10,000, instead of reinvesting that money back, instead of you are worth more than $5,000. Sorry. If he sells a shirt for $50,000, instead of reinvesting that money back into the club, he would rather keep that money because he feels over the years.
You were in this country, even for onward transfer fees that the clubs get. What do they do with the money?
Because they feel they
onward transfer fee they got on top. But what did the coach do with the money? After he received the money, did we not hear he was kidnapped? What investment did he make with over 700,000 euros?
Okay, Oreku, and you know that is the biggest challenge I have with Ghana football as a whole. Brazil, for instance, knows that they can't compete with the rest of the world. It will be difficult to make their league like the English Premier League or the Bundesliga. So the government has taken a conscious effort to invest in the clubs to ensure that they transport a lot of players from Brazil to the European market. Money comes into the country, government takes their share. As simple as that. Because they know they can't compete with the English Premier League. The Brazilian League can never become like the English Premier League. Even the time difference and the language is a barrier. But the government has made a conscious effort to invest in these clubs. Okay, for us, we are a hub of talent. We will groom and we sell. Money will come back into the country because we can't compete. What are we doing as a nation? It's just the individual club owners.
No, government.
I bought boot for Oreku when Oreku was 16 years and he came to my club. Oreku was sleeping at my clubhouse. I bought ice cream for Oreku. A South African Premier League club comes and says that I want to pay $50,000 for Oreku. I take that $50,000 and I have about 10 other Orekus. But instead of investing heavily in those 10 other Orekus, I'll keep the money. My ice cream, we don't even reinvest back into our clubs. And that is our biggest problem. That is our biggest problem here. And sometimes I don't blame the club owners. I don't blame the likes of Alhaji Gruza. Because they feel over the years we've spent in grooming these players. So once we sell them, then that is our benefit. That is not how football should be done. That is the stage we are in now.
The problem is that Too many people get up to invest in Ghana football and have no clear plan
Zero
on
plan.
how to make profits and how to make revenue. A lot of these clubs have absolutely no direction with regards to revenue targets.
No.
Multiple streams of income. Nothing. All they know is that we'll sell a player and that's how we'll make our money back. Meanwhile, I think selling a player is like maybe second, third way that you can make the most money.
Because our football people, when these people want to invest in football, that is the lie they sell to them.
No, but you see,
then
the richest clubs, even look at in Tanzania, for instance, House of Folk,
Simba,
Kotoko. You can't tell me that you don't have a larger fan base than these Simba clubs, young African, that just came around. If you were doing your things right and you demanded your fans, Kotoko, look at the followers they have on social media. If you demanded each fan to give you 10 CDs, 10 CDs to subscribe to something that gives them value every month, think about it. Think about how much
you said that gives them what?
Value. Of course, you can't ask me to give you 10 CDs.
I like the part that you added value, because you see this club try things which does not benefit the fans. They feel, why should I pay? Donate to help the club. Just donate to help the club. What am I getting in return? Is it a paraphernalia that I'm getting? Is it a free game that I will be?
Listen, you are even going far when you talk of things that you will get. Whether it's even things that they are doing for the club itself and like content.
Yeah.
Because let's look at what Accra has did for Benjamin Asari.
Yeah.
Listen, 3 sports, you guys have created over probably 10 different content on Benjamin Asari alone. From this to hero, from that to that, how his career is skyrocketing, spoken to different people. What has Accra Heart of Folk done about that whole content thing around Benjamin Asari so that they will benefit off of their YouTube alone? Because you already have the following, you already have your YouTube running. If they have a very good camera and a nice microphone, I mean, you need a phone and a microphone to do that. They didn't even meet him at the airport. Like, just meeting him at the airport with the phobia fans.
You are talking about, is it Benjamin Asari that you are talking about?
Yes.
We sat in this country for a club to sign Sule Muntari. They couldn't just take Sule Muntari to their clubhouse. Tell fans that we are giving a discount to of our jerseys. We are, instead of 100 CDs, we are selling it for 40 CDs or 50 CDs, and Sule Muntari will sign for you. They could not do that.
That's what I'm saying.
They couldn't do that. Someone signed Asamoah and couldn't utilize the huge image of Asamoah Gyan, buy a Legon City's jersey and let Asamoah Gyan sign for you. Fans who don't even support Legon City would have gone there just to get Asamoah Gyan to sign their jersey. But yes, anyway, we just posted pictures and a whole amount we are done.
Do you see the video?
So House of Folks female team comes up with an initiative, and there's this who says, champions aren't just made on the field, they are made with your support. Together, let's bring glory to phobia. Donate to Oaks FC.
Every day they are taking
this
from
is
the
this
fans.
is you begging.
Every day they are taking from the fans without giving anything. You have Mercy Take, she has so much stories too. Now your team, you are doing well. Tell us the stories of your players. Don't tell us something. People will go and watch. People are not sitting down just watching any YouTube video. Like, excite us. Do anything. Besties, let 2 girls come and talk about how they like playing.
At this point, they should.
No, I understand.
They should employ him.
I understand where Oweku is coming from. No, I understand where Oweku is coming from, saying that we are just looking at one stream of income. See how the European clubs milk the transfer of a player. When Manchester United were re-signing Cristiano Ronaldo, it was as if the world was coming to an end. Everything is about Ronaldo. You go on Manchester United's page from morning to evening, buy a Ronaldo replica shirt for a discount of the United stores were full. That is how you utilize, signing huge players. But here we even signed the likes of Ajiman Bedu. Great Olympic signed Ajiman Bedu, and there's nothing about it. They don't even post. Fine, on the day of a game, you see Ajiman Bedu's picture. We've captured former Ghana in the blah blah blah, and he plays 1, 2, 3 games, and that is it.
But I think clubs. It also comes to the fact that clubs, you don't see the accounts and all of that. Now, in accounting terms, if you look at the revenue side, they have 3 main streams of revenue that player sales, the TV rights, right, as well, and the merchandise that you have.
How about tickets?
It's part of that bit too. So like ticket sales. Okay. So we put it under that. So if the clubs understand that these three are there to work with, and then you can find a way to maximize these three, because even with the player selling, right, if you don't provide enough data that is quantifiable to make a big case, a player that you can sell for 100,000, you end up selling for half. Meaning, in actual sense, you are not making the kind of profit you should be making.
Yeah.
So it also involves extra investments to get the data bit. It also involves sort of a discussion with the GFA to sort of maximize the whole TV revenue bit, give them some leeway where they can actually, provide some content, some highlights, which would not bring them any trouble. Because, I mean, there's been cases and some whispers that, clubs are usually not allowed to release, footages of their highlights and all of that. If all of these can be solved, right, then we have a conversation we can actually carry. We have a conversation with regards to making a lot more money for these things. Because, Charlie, it's easy to find a way to get merchandise to sell. It's easy to find a way creatively create some merchandises, add to club membership and all of that. Like maybe if you buy, with us now and these other clubs, when you buy like a season ticket, you can get some specific stuff in addition.
But now you find a creative way to do it. We are in the country where Chelsea, there are more Chelsea places in town than Kotoko and has JC.
Bro, it's easier.
It's easier to just go to town and see a Chelsea JC and buy. How many Kotoko and has JC?
Bro, it's not deep. Charlie. Season tickets.
Interestingly, when I went to France, I think there was a Ligue 1 match that Auxerre were about to play. And after the match, one of the Ligue 1 officials was teasing, the Auxerre media manager that, like, if they want to get the rest of their fans. So how the LFP does is that you have, let's say, you're entitled to X million a season. They've given objectives. So if one of the objectives that I know, for instance, was that Auxerre was supposed to create an English account. Every French team was supposed to create an English account. So they were saying that once you've not created an English account, they're not going to give you that money.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way in which the FA can also help.
Yeah.
In a way that you are like the father figure. You are the one who leads all of these teams. Sometimes you have to put them into the right places.
Yeah.
A lot of these clubs are lazy. They don't want to. Maybe the motivation needs to come from elsewhere, because I don't understand how individuals in Ghana here have videographers following them, taking videos. And you as a club, you are telling me that you cannot invest in content creation and things. Like, individuals are doing this and making money, millions in Ghana here. And football clubs that you have access to all of this territory, market, potential, fans. You're just sleeping. Why are we not abreast with new technology, new stuff? We'll wait before 20-30 years, then we'll start content. Why?
That is why people are waiting to see what the likes of Togbe Afede will do when the autonomous league board is created. Because that would be the clubs themselves. They will be running their own league. So maybe when they are sitting closer to the fire themselves, they would want to do things right. Because Togbe Afede has said countless times that we can also run our league like the European system. And put things in place. So maybe when the club owners or those who run the clubs are put at the forefront, they will begin to do things differently. For the FA, I feel the FA has failed most of the Premier League clubs as organizers. They've not really been strict when dishing out some of these instructions, because, I mean, how can a coach even decide not to do a presser and just leave?
And how can a social media manager decide not to do match updates?
That's the thing. The social media administrators should just take their work. In as much as
do you know a player's course? A player's course in Bechim. Your friend is it Kofi Tompu? Pine from there. If I go on the street and show his picture to 10 people who follow the Ghana Premier League, about 6 of them may not even know that is
your players called the potential Puskas
goal.
Yeah, you know find way promote them nice.
Go and check Bechim's page.
The only reason why
with a world class commentary behind it.
Sandra Owusu Ansa when she was playing in the women's league at the
called
time was when there was a vibrant media created for all the women's Premier League team. So at the time when she scored her goal, it was all over social media. People saw it. People started talking about it. That was when she became like her goal was nominated, shortlisted for the Puskas Award.
Even had to
It's all about everything.
at this point,
we are rather doing more on Benjamin Asari than how to
That's
cook.
what I'm
The
saying.
content on Benjamin Asari alone,
Like,
how to
the
cook would have
content
milked
on Benjamin Asari. I don't
Benjamin
know
Asari's
why.
content to grow their page.
But Charlie,
But they are not even doing that.
Charlie, at this point, invite one Premier League club social media team. Let them come and teach them something.
No, but I think
'Cause,
that they forget that in as much as they love the club and when they lose, it affects them. Their job is to feed the social media page.
Yeah.
So you really don't have to stress yourself so much about the comments you are getting.
See,
The insults will come.
even
Yes.
United and Chelsea
When
are
you
still
post-
posting defeat
when
at
you
Emirates.
post
Simple.
full time defeat at the Lagos.
I love the
Sports
Chelsea
Stadium.
handler. Defeat at Emirates. Simple.
Like
He's
whatever
done.
you do,
Defeat
the
at home.
backlash will come. The backlash will come, but you still have to continue posting. That's why you need.
Who is
different
handling that
kinds
account?
of- Different kinds
The
of
Chelsea
content.
social media handler is serious.
No,
Defeat at Emirates. He just put the scoreline the 2-1.
No, that one
And there was
doesn't.
a time where
that
he
one
realized that,
doesn't kill me like that.
Enzo, when he uses Enzo on the post,
Yeah.
on the poster, full-time post after the game,
Yeah.
people don't insult him that much. And so for over like more than 5 matches they lost, it was Enzo's picture back to back to back to back to back.
It's strategic.
Like,
Charlie, if Lakers lose, no, they write final with the picture. They finish.
you wouldn't
No,
say
but
anything.
what hurts me is that it's not even a case that there aren't people who can't do these things in Ghana. Like
Oh,
you have
yeah.
to go. So many, they're university graduates. So many of them go to
They won't employ
videography.
Andrew
God,
will,
the digital-
Andrew will grow
Like,
their page from
Bro, like
this to that.
you just
like,
need a little funds. A little funds.
By the way, Kotoko are leading. By go to the
Oh, nice.
normal.
I posted this on my ex. I was saying
Just
that we
30
missed,
minutes into play, he scored.
like,
Saka Dauda.
Sakadauda, okay.
like we missed something with Benjamin Asare, and like the way it was a car had to folk. I didn't see why they couldn't even get a mic'd up moment with Benjamin Asare.
They did interview that they almost cut off his head after the
Official meet by got Benjamin Asari's arrival.
Arrival at
At the
the
transport station. Lots of folks don't have that.
Where
Official
are the
meet by
Phobian
has that.
fans with their colors
create-
and
See,
welcoming him?
You just create something huge. People will say you're overreacting.
Settings
but
are in the need. Even if
it's
it's
for the
settings,
optics.
in the need.
just go and welcome him, grant an interview there. Benjamin Asari, official meet by your friend has an arrival. How to folk do not have it.
Shout out to Meet
You
Right.
just write, oh.
official Miss Fire, my guy. Okay.